Sports.
We are Buffalo. We are Houston.
Sunday Baseball on Fox Sports Houston is presented by Hyundai. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Houston Astros in the finale of this very brief three-game homestand for Houston. Good afternoon, everybody, on this Sunday. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Astros have run into a wall as far as good pitching from the Dodgers, losing the first two of this series, J.D.
Yeah, it was Ted Lilly Friday, Clayton Kershaw last night. Today it's Chad Billingsley. He's been very good this year, but so has Wandy Rodriguez, and Wandy works for the Astros today as they try to salvage one in this three-game set with the Dodgers. You look at his lines for the season, solid effort in that opening game against the Rockies, allowed 3 runs, none earned, and then Atlanta, and then finally his start last time out of Washington, very, very good. 7 innings, just 1 earned run. Unfortunately for him, he got beat 1-0. An outstanding performance by the lefty Gio Gonzalez from the Nationals.
Coming up here at Minute Maid Park, the Astros have been in every one of their losses this year. They've lost 10 games, and in 9 of those from the 8th inning or later, they've had the potential tying run at home plate. Let's see what today brings as they try to surmount these obstacles and maybe win a close one in just a moment. Houston is brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. The Kids Fun Zone, and this is one of those kids' days on a Sunday at Minute Maid Park. Kids took the field with the players, and they will be running the bases afterwards. It's 75 degrees here at Minute Maid Park. Humidity a low 37%. Wind is slight. The roof is open. It is an absolutely ideal day. And Greg Lucas is back with us on this Sunday. And we'll be joining him throughout the day today as he has returned from his college baseball assignment. So just a wonderful day for baseball.
Can't play today. Can't play, Brownie.
You got it.
Bale, take your spikes off, your glove, and go home.
Hyundai brings you the Dodgers batting order of Dee Gordon at shortstop, Mark Ellis at second base, Matt Kemp in center field, Juan Rivera at first base, Andre Ethier in right field, Jerry Hairston Jr. in left, Juan Uribe at third, Matt Trainer the catcher, Chad Billingsley the pitcher.
And for the Astros this afternoon, it's veteran left-hander Wandy Rodriguez. He's been good against the Dodgers in his career, 10 starts, a break-even record, but a low ERA of 2.45. He's managed to go 0-2 this year despite a 1.96 ERA through 3 starts. Run support has been a little bit of an issue for him, especially last time out when he got beat 1-0. And defensively, it sets up this way. It's Schaefer in center. He's got Martinez on one side, Bogusevic on the other. Infield of Johnson, Lowry, Big and Little. And Jason Castro makes a start behind the dish.
And as the Astros say goodbye after this game and head out on the road for another week, it's only been 3 games at home this weekend. So they try to win this one after losing the first 2. The umpiring crew of Brian O'Nora at the plate, Alfonso Marquez at first, Tom Halling at second, DJ Rayburn at third, ready to go, and Wandy Rodriguez has the ball in his hand, working to Dee Gordon. Swings through it, strike one.
Gordon had a nice night last night. 3 hits, a double, scored a couple of runs, had a bunt single in the 6th on a bunt that really wasn't that good, but he is so fast it doesn't have to be that good of a bunt, so you got to really cheat in on him.
Wandy misses there, and it's a 1-ball-1-strike count. Gordon has a .295 on base average, but if he gets on, he is a threat. He has 8 steals. That's second in the league. Showing bunt that time, and it's down and in for ball 2. As JD mentioned, Wandy pitched so well last time at Washington Tuesday, but lost 1-0 when a couple of balls were misplayed in the outfield. And after being the opening day starter, still looking for win number 1. He's 0-2. Pulls that one, and Carlos Lee is right there. One out for Wandy, and now it's Mark Ellis. Ellis, a veteran second sacker, took a season-long 8-game hitting streak into the game last night. That was snapped. And now, as he comes up, he's hitting .240. He's second in the league in runs scored with 14, looking at ball 1. So if he could get on with Kemp and Ethier, Kemp hitting third today and Ethier 5th behind him, there's a pretty good chance he'll do some scoring. He whacks this line drive, and it goes out into left field past Jed Lowry. Ellis starts a brand new hitting streak, and he's aboard for Kemp.
I'm trying to go down and away with a fastball. Wandy misfires, leaves it up in the strike zone, and Ellis gets on top of it. Solid line drive single. And so Wandy a little wobbly with his command there. I would advise him to find it in a hurry here with Superman stepping up to home plate.
Matt Kemp has homered for 3 consecutive games. He's hitting .474 with 9 homers, 22 runs batted in. All 3 of those figures lead the National League. He's on a 10-game hitting streak. He is Major League Baseball's version of a transformer, and it is ball 1 to him.
And all the home runs are middle of the diamond or opposite way. You got to do your work inside on him. He's hit 13 fly balls this year. 9 of them have left the ballpark. 70% of his fly balls have gone for home runs.
He leads the league in on-base average, slugging percentage, extra base hits, total bases, and those other numbers you saw.
So if you're into such minutia, I looked it up last year. The leader in that regard, in terms of percentage of fly balls that left the ballpark, was Mike Stanton. 24% of his fly balls went for home runs. So what Kemp is doing here is just insane. It's got to kind of come back to earth a little bit. My goodness.
Well, the home plate umpire, Brian O'Nora, took a stroll out to Wandy Rodriguez's mound. Said something to him. Not sure what that was about. That's a little unusual.
I think somebody got dinged by a foul ball and he was buying a little time.
Okay. That's exactly
Jason,
what it is. Yeah, Jason Castro. Well, Kemp's 9 homers in 15 games are the most ever for a Dodger in the first 15. And his 22 runs batted in, tied with Roy Campanella for the second most all time. Only Ron Cey had more, 25 in 77 through 15 games.
I was talking with Jaime Harim a little while ago, who does Spanish radio for the Dodgers and has done so for 54 years. And I said, who's the best player you've ever seen with the Dodgers in all those years? And he said, well, pitcher is easy, Koufax. I said, position player is a little tougher. And, you know, at some point he put Kemp in the conversation.
Puts that one in the air, and it's going to be toward foul ground. Let's see if Altuve can get there, and slides, and Altuve comes up with a big play.
Wow. Wow, what a play.
Bogusevic couldn't get there. He had a long way to go, and so did Altuve.
Yeah. What a play. That is huge. I mean, he was, you know, nobody else really seemed to pick that ball up off the bat. He got a great break on it. And just an unbelievable play by Altuve. And you think, well, it's a foul ball. It's not like it was going to drop in for a double. But Matt Kemp was the hitter. And you don't have to throw him another pitch. That's huge.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Bogusevic's in that sun field, so it's going to be tough for the right fielders today. And now it's Rivera. Juan at 271 is driven in 7.
Play the game, little man. My goodness, that was fun.
Spectacular effort. Almost had his back to the play, really, as he was sliding. Very difficult to stay focused on the baseball while making that kind of a sliding catch. Wandy throws over to first.
Careful now.
As you mentioned, Wandy with good numbers against the Dodger club, a 2.45 career ERA. He's faced Billingsley once. That was in 09 at Houston, and he lost that game 2-0. Now Chris Johnson sets up deep at third for Juan Rivera. Chris bouncing on his feet, trying to be ready to react quickly. It's 1-1 to Juan Rivera, who's played some left field, but today, as James Loney sits it out against the lefty, he's the first baseman. Don Mattingly's club 12-3 has already built a 4.5 game lead in the NL West. It's 2 balls and a strike. The Dodgers are finishing a road trip today. They're 3-2 on this trip. They lost 2 of 3 in Milwaukee. They go back home for a very interesting week ahead with Atlanta and Washington coming in to Dodger Stadium. And they've played 6 games at Dodger Stadium and won all 6 so far from Pittsburgh and San Diego.
Yeah, they really haven't been tested by any stiff competition yet. Milwaukee Club's a pretty good club. They lost 2 out of 3 there, but San Diego 7 games, Pittsburgh 3 to start the season, and they were 9-1. Not to take away from what they've done.
They won the games. This is Juan Rivera's 12th major league season. Runner going, and on the curve he strikes out. Spectacular play on Kemp's foul pop by Jose Altuve, hustling over from second, sliding. Just a tremendous play in a scoreless top of the first. come up with this starting lineup for Brad Mills. It's brought to you by Hyundai. It's Jordan Schaefer in center. Jed Lowry returns to the number 2 spot at shortstop. J.D. Martinez is a left fielder with Carlos Lee at first base. Batting 5th, right fielder Brian Bogasevic. Then it's Chris Johnson, Jason Castro. Jose Altuve bats 8th today and plays second with Wandy Rodriguez on the mound.
Well, Chad Billingsley takes the mound for the Dodgers. He's off to a great start this year, 2-0 through 3 starts with a 1.33 ERA. Just 1 walk against 17 strikeouts.
And there is strike 1 to Jordan Schaefer.
And Billingsley's been awfully good in this ballpark. 4-0 in his career here at Minute Maid Park.
Schaefer moves back from that inside offering. Jordan's been slowed by a cold for the last several days. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's 1 for 5 in this series.
4-0, .78 ERA for Billingsley here at Minute Maid.
He tried to bunt and he missed. The appeal went down to DJ Rayburn. It was an attempted bunt. It's 1-2 to Schaefer.
Yeah, clearly went.
He's been on base in all 15 of the Astros games this year. Rolls over on that one. Grounds hit foul. That's the longest streak by an Astro to begin a season since Craig Biggio began 2000 by reaching in the first 17 games.
There are those numbers I was talking about. Billingsley very comfortable when he takes the bump here in Houston. His fastball, slider, cut fastball, curveball, and a changeup. Kind of that classic power pitcher's build with the strong legs.
Yes.
Not a real extreme hard thrower.
First round pick in 03. He gets a strikeout to open his day. So the ratio is now 1 walk to 18 strikeouts for Chad Billingsley.
Little backdoor cutter, backdoor slider. Sits on the outside edge to finish off Jordan Schaefer. And defensively, it's a different look for the Dodgers today. Jerry Hairston Jr. makes the move to left field. Kemp beneath here, they stay put. John Mattingly's going to run them out there every day. Uribe gets a start at third. Gordon short. Ellison Rivera on the right side. Matt Trainer, the veteran backstop, is behind the dish. Where else would a veteran backstop be?
Well, that's a good place for him. Strike 1 to Jed Lowry. 226 for Jed with 1 RBI. Batted 5th last night. But this is the number 2 spot where you'll probably see him for a while now. Bounces that one behind first. Rivera tosses low and late and safe at first. Yeah, he didn't have good footwork for one thing, and then the throw came out low, and Billingsley couldn't catch it, so Lowry reaches.
A whole lot of ugly on that play.
Yep. Error on Rivera.
Right down the line, and Rivera stumbles a little bit as he tries to square his shoulders to make the toss over to Billingsley. I mean, he fields the ball in good shape, but right here he kind of stumbles and then hurries the toss when he really didn't have to, and that's such a difficult play for the pitcher. You want that ball up about chest high, obviously.
It's his first error. The Dodgers have made 8. They've allowed 3 unearned runs in their first 15 games. And that gives J.D. Martinez a base runner. At 340, he has 3 homers and 13 runs batted in with a .459 on base average. Strike 1. J.D. 2 for 4 with an RBI in this series. He's been drawing a lot of walks as well. He had a couple more last night. Brad Mills likes Lowry in this number 2 spot, and Altuve hitting 8th, and he's not committing to it, but I think you're going to see it for a while now. And Altuve is off to that fantastic start with a .379 on base average, but also Lowry has a .351 on base average, a good contact hitter, and Brad likes the fact that Lowry's a switch hitter, so if Schaefer's on first and Lowry's batting left-handed, it's tougher for the catcher to get a look at Schaefer with his lead off first if he wants to steal. And also Lowry can pull the ball through the right side and get the leadoff man Schaefer from first to third on a single. So those are some of the considerations.
And he does pull the ball from the left side quite a bit, as he did in this at bat. So, yeah, I have no problems with Lowry in the tool. I think he's a good fit there. But my concern would be if Altuve continues to hit. I just don't think you can afford to keep him 8th. I don't know where you put him, but if he keeps hitting it for a high average,
that's true.
I'd be tempted to hit him 3rd.
Yeah.
And put JD cleanup.
Well, he could work his way up in the lineup.
See, that's the good thing about baseball. You don't have to commit to anything. It's a very fluid situation. You change it every day if you want.
That sounds great. Fly ball to center field. Kemp comes over into left center. And Hairston is there, but he peels off.
People get worked up about the lineup. Boy, the guys got to be comfortable. They come every day and they're in a different spot in the line. So you hit. Just go hit. Don't give me that comfort in the lineup nonsense. That's just an excuse.
Carlos Lee. You're sounding old school.
Yeah, it's just silly.
Yeah. Agree with you. Carlos at 233 has a homer and 9 runs batted in.
There are a couple spots in the lineup that, you'd like a certain kind of an approach, the 2-hole being one of them. But for the most part, just hit wherever you are. It doesn't matter.
Billingsley fires one over to first base. Chad, last year 11-11 with a 4.21 ERA. He worked 188 innings.
A good, solid starting pitcher. 72-52 for his career with a 363 earned run average.
Flared outside the right field line and into the seats.
And Billingsley, who's been around a while, still just 27 years of age.
In his career, he's been tough on right-handed batters. They have a 228 average against him.
One thing that has held him back a little bit is because of the style of pitcher that he is. He tends to run a lot of deep counts and high pitch counts, and sometimes has to come out of games earlier than the manager would prefer, just to, because they're so protective of the pitcher's arms with the pitch count issue. That has not really been the case so far this year. He's been more efficient.
Ripped to left field. El Caballo goes off. 2-run homer in the first inning for Carlos Lee, number 2 of the season. And the Astros grab a 2-0 lead.
Well, the Dodgers had not made an error in this series prior to the one by Rivera. He opened the door and Carlos walks right through. 2-run home run. 2 unearned runs. But 2 runs against the Dodgers is something. The Astros haven't done that in quite a while.
Well, they've lost 6 in a row to the Dodgers, and they've scored a total of 3 runs in those 6 games. So now here's the swing that gives them the lead.
You saw where Trainer was set up, and you saw him drift back to try to receive that errant fastball, but he never got the chance. To bye-bye.
Number 2 of the year for Carlos. And now there's strike 1 to Brian Bogusevic. 195, 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. That's the 8th home run the Astros have hit as a team this season. They are 13th in the National League in home runs coming into this game. Just been a struggle for them to score, period. But as you mentioned, even though the runs are unearned, well, it's nice to get a couple with 1 swing of the bat. Dodgers have outscored their opponents 16-3 in the first inning coming into this game. It's 1-2 to Bogusevic.
Yeah, nice to give Wandy a little bit of a lead to work with.
Carlos had gone 3 for 28 in a downturn. Now a strikeout for Billingsley is his second, and the Astros get 2 runs on 1 hit with 1 error. And they grab a 2-0 lead as El Caballo goes deep to left field.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. I already have an early candidate for it. We'll see if that Carlos Lee home run holds up. Maybe there'll be a lot more to come. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Greg. Andre Ethier leads it off, 2-0 Astros. Inning number 2 finds Ethier at the plate, and he's second in the majors and runs batted in with 21, fouling it back. Strike one. Ethier has struggled in the past against left-handed pitching. Not this year so far. .333 against lefties. Ethier with the .293 average has 4 homers with those 21 runs batted in. And he and Kemp now have combined for those 43 runs batted in the first 15 games. And that ties a major league record for a set of teammates through 15 team games, joining A-Rod and Bobby Abreu of the 07 Yankees. A-Rod had 30 and Abreu 13 that year. 1-2. Ethier's 3 for 17 against Wandy in his career. Dodgers are trying for their 3rd series sweep already in their 5th series this season. They had 3 all last year.
Wandy's made a commitment to make sure he covers both sides of the plate with his fastball, shaking Jason off there from a fastball away, a curveball away, then opting for the fastball in. And it looks to me like he's trying to quicken his tempo a little bit too.
The Astros have been getting some good starts. Last night, Kyle Weiland, 7 innings, 3 runs allowed. Jay Happ, 6 innings, 3 runs. Friday night, strike 3. 2 strikeouts.
You saw what happened there. Jason called for a fastball, assumed Wandy wanted outside, and jumped outside, and that's why Wandy stepped off and reset. He wanted that fastball in, and he painted the inside corner.
Jerry Hairston Jr., who made a couple of fantastic plays at third base Friday night, is the left fielder today, hitting .250 with no homers, no runs batted in. Very versatile type player. There's strike 1. And Uribe has been slowed by a left wrist problem, so Hairston filled in quite capably at third Friday night, and Justin Sellers last night. 1 ball, 1 strike to 35-year-old Jerry Hairston Jr. from Illinois, 3rd generation major leaguer. His father Jerry played 14 years.
Jerry Hairston Sr. was one of the better pinch hitters of his time. And Jerry's one of those guys, Jerry Jr. here, can play all over the field, do a lot of different things for you. He's been good against Wandy, 389.
Checked his swing on that one. And the appeal went to Alfonso Marquez. It's ball 3. 3-1. Well, Jerry's grandfather, Sam, was the first African American to play for the Orioles. So we just had Jackie Robinson Day, and that's probably more meaningful for him than a lot of people. And that's ball 4. Juan Uribe comes up. And Uribe joined this club and hit .204 last season with 270 at-bats after being with the Giants. Earlier in his career, he was a Rocky and a White Sox. .235 with 1 RBI for Uribe this season. Signed a 3-year deal prior to last year to play the hot corner, and he's 33 years old. He had left hip flexor problems last year that forced him onto the DL. Strike to Uribe.
Astro fans will remember Uribe with the White Sox in the World Series back in 2005. That brings a little power to the equation. Hit 24 home runs for the Giants in 2010.
Pitch is up to him, and it's 1-1. Now the Dodgers, with their 3 third basemen in 3 games here, back to that revolving door we were talking about last night. They've had so many third basemen since 04 when Adrian Beltre left the scene. 25 different ones. It's 2 balls and a strike. Maybe through some combination they can fill that spot with different people playing it this year. On Mattingly's club, chugging right along at 12-3. Third in the league in runs scored with 68. Dodgers are 19-20 at Minute Maid Park. There's a little movement there from Hairston. The throw went over. Oh, this weather is something we'd like to have in August.
Oh, my goodness.
Tim Wallach.
Good day to be a realtor. You could sell a house today.
Yeah, you could sell a lot of things today. Wallach was an outstanding third baseman. Now he's coaching third.
Son's in their organization, isn't he?
I believe so, yep.
I think there was a spring training game this year where Don Mattingly had 7 players on the field whose dads played in the big leagues.
Oh. Swing. And that's strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A little bit more than a half swing from Uribe.
I talked about Uribe's power, but he's got a lot of holes. Make a mistake, he can hurt you, but he swings and misses a lot.
He rips that one foul. Saw Jim Crane walking by when Brad Mills was doing his media session before the game today, and saw a lot of kids walking on the warning track beforehand. Nice day to be outside. Whether you're walking, sitting, enjoying the game. There's Jim. Flared foul and out of play, and the Astros will have a longer homestand when they come back next time. They go to Milwaukee for 3, then have an off day Thursday and go to Cincinnati for 3. Then they'll settle in when they get back on that next homestand. Hey, we just got word that Richard Hidalgo will be here throwing out the first pitch on Monday, April 30th on that next homestand, a week from tomorrow night. Popped up, and Jed Lowry's down with the glasses, but Chris Johnson has it. Very bright sunny day. 2 outs.
Well, Richard Hidalgo had that cannon from the outfield. He should throw the first pitch from right field.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just kind of have somebody hit him a fungo and let him settle under it, and then arrowing out to home plate.
You know, you might have come up with something there. Richard was the team MVP in 2003. Hit 44 home runs the year this ballpark opened in 2000. Matt Traynor has 1 RBI, 111 average. Strike 1. Good backup catcher. He's been around the big league scene for quite some time now. And has a lot of wisdom he can use with the pitchers. He's 36 years old now. Played with Kansas City and Texas last season. Kansas City was the team that drafted him in '94. Runner takes off. Here's the throw from Castro, and right there with the runner, but the ball gets away. The ball just wasn't there quite quickly enough for Altuve to catch it. And Hairston, who slid into that baseball, gets the steal.
Wandy was keeping a close eye on Hairston earlier. This time Hairston gets a pretty good read, decent jump, but everything comes together all at once there. The ball and the base runner arriving at exactly the same time. Good throw by Castro.
Yeah, it was a good throw. The pitch was low. Trainer bounces one to shortstop. Lowry gets the hop and gets him. No runs, no hits. A man stranded. 2-0 Astros in the second.
And mark this on your calendar because the Astros will be in town for the weekend of May 4th through the 6th against the Cardinals. The Astros will help you get into your Cinco de Mayo celebration, and you'll start it on Saturday, May 5th. There'll be fireworks that night in addition to Friday the 4th. 5th will make up for the ones who were missed this last weekend. So head to the ballpark early at 3 p.m. for the pregame Street Fest. 10,000 fans at the gates receive a Los Astros cap courtesy of Wells Fargo. Tickets at Astros.com or AstroDeHouston.com. And don't forget fireworks both Friday and Saturday night of that series.
That's right. Chris Johnson, the batter. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And Chris had 263, has no homers, 4 runs batted in, 0 for 7 in this series. He'll be followed by Castro and Altuve. He bangs that one into right center field. Kemp goes over and ranges to his left to hold him to a single. That's a really good sign. Chris Johnson had a rough game last night, and he was seen in the dugout after the game with the hitting coach Mike Barnett talking for a long time down there.
The last 4 games he was 0 for 14 with 7 strikeouts, and really been scuffling in this series, chasing a lot of bad balls, the soft stuff, especially changeups and slow curve balls. It's just a streaky hitter. That's who he is as a player.
Jason Castro comes up for his first at bat in this series. Chris Snyder has caught the first 2 games. Jason had 212. Billingsley away with the fastball, ball 1. Castro's driven in 4. Dodgers started lefties in the first 2 games of the series with Snyder behind the plate. Lilly and Kershaw. Uribe's even with the bag at third. Double play depth for Gordon and Ellis.
If you're a left-handed hitter and you show up at the ballpark and you're not penciled in the lineup with Kershaw pitching for the other club, you don't complain. If you do, you're faking. Oh man, I wanted to be in there tonight. No, you didn't.
Rick Honeycutt was having a conversation for the game behind home plate with Matt Sinatra of the Astros. We were chatting about Mr. Kershaw last night, how good he was. He said, well, he was better than that last year down the stretch, but yeah, he was very good last night.
Well, we showed it last night. 12-1 with a 130 something ERA in the second half last year.
That is some kind of Cy Young type consistency.
Castro, one of those guys that could exploit the hole on the right side as well. He pulls the ball on the ground quite often.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because Billingsley has been running the fastball away from him. So if you're Billingsley, is that a concern for you, and is that going to dictate the way you pitch him?
To a degree. I mean, your primary responsibility is just to pitch to your strength and exploit a hitter's weaknesses, but you're certainly aware of the fact that there's a man on and you're playing for 2 and there's a little more of a hole over there.
Runner going. CJ took off, and it's 2-2.
I think Billingsley, what he's going to try to do to left-handed hitters for the most part is run his fastball away. And if you try to pull that pitch, you're asking for trouble.
Billingsley's from Defiance, Ohio. He was throwing at age 15 in the mid-'80s, and his father read Nolan Ryan's pitching Bible and got him to start playing long toss before and after games. That built up arm strength and later led to more velocity.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's 3-2. Billingsley was a 16-game winner in 08 with the Dodgers.
Now decision time for Brad Mills. You start the base runner here, fearful of a ground ball double play, but Billingsley's a guy who can get some swings and misses. He's not an extreme ground ball pitcher.
Runner goes, and it's ball 4. Castro works a walk, his 4th of the year. First and second, nobody out for Altuve. So, we talk so much about where a guy hits in the lineup. But here he is hitting 8th, and he's coming up with 2 men on and nobody out.
Yeah, I think again, with Altuve, if he continues to hit for a real high average, the downside of hitting 8th is he's not going to get as many at bats if he's hitting higher in the order. but obviously opportunities come at different times in the ball game, and here's a big chance for him here.
The 327 average, 5 runs batted in, high on base average. Altuve 1 for 6 in this series. That's ball 1 to him with Wandy Rodriguez on deck. And I was asking Brad Mills Friday night when he told us he would plan to move Altuve into the number 8 spot and Lowry the number 2 spot. Would you talk with Altuve sometimes in the on deck circle about when you don't think the pitcher will work to him? He said, no, we're just going to let him hit. He knows that. Fly ball to right field and pretty shallow. Ethier comes in. 1 down.
Got to have the shades out there today, boy.
Oh, that's bright. And it might have played a role in that catch that Altuve made on Kemp's foul pop, because Bogusevic, even though he couldn't have been expected to get there, I think it takes a little bit longer sometimes to pick up that baseball for the right fielder on a day like this, JD.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now Wandy's 0 for 4.
Dodgers anticipated bunt here. Uribe, the third baseman, giving signals as to the coverage that they will use. Whether they'll just play conventional straight bunt defense or put a wheel play on, a pickoff, something like that. Probably just conventional bunt defense.
Pulls the bat back, squares again, takes ball 1. Trainer came up and drew his arm back, looking at Johnson at second.
Dave Clark have a conversation with Wandy Rodriguez, telling him, hey, let's look to bunt here, bud. If you see them coming too aggressively, you feel like you want to pull the bat back and take a whack at it, go ahead. There's already 1 out in the inning. So a successful sacrifice moves the runners along, but gives you just 1 chance to get him home. That's why you might roll the dice here and let him swing away.
Takes another ball.
Billingsley trying to pitch away from the bunt. Now 2-0. Pitcher's job here to throw a strike. Let him bunt it, get it out. Go ahead, Wandy. Unload on him.
Rivera creeping in. Wandy takes, it's a strike. 2-1. The Astros have lost 6 of their last 7. They've won 5 and lost 10, but 10 losses, 9 of those from the 8th inning on, they've had the potential tying run at the plate, and their biggest loss, the biggest margin, was 6-3 at Washington. And in that game, they had the potential tying run on deck in the 8th inning. So they've been in every one of their losses. It'd be nice for them to open it up a little bit early and give starting pitchers some working room. That really has not been the case very much this year. 3-1 to Wandy with Schaefer on deck.
Yeah, the Astros are 5-10 despite being outscored by only 2 runs all year.
Edwin gets away, and it's ball 4 anyway. So the bases are loaded for Schaefer.
And you know, the Dodgers tried to open the door for the Astros late with a bunch of walks in the 8th inning, and the Astros could not take advantage. But so far today, the error leading to 2 runs, and now some bad pitching by Billingsley. Wandy's up there trying to bunt, and he can't find the strike zone.
Schaefer comes up with his bases loaded, 1 out at bat. He struck out in the 1st inning. Now Rick Honeycutt comes out to the mound. The Astros as a team have hit 158 with the bases loaded. A hit here could go a long, long way. Lowry's on deck. This Dodger pitching staff has a 2.85 ERA, 5th best in the league. Oh, ERA's a low this year, huh? That's only 5th best.
Well, you know, last year was a great year for pitching, and it's continued here in 2012. Billingsley 32 pitches now as he works in the 2nd inning. As Schaefer here, you know, you don't want to start flailing away. A guy struggling with his command, but on the same token, you've got him in a vulnerable position, and Now, he might throw you a pretty hittable fastball right here, so you got to be ready.
Schaefer looks at it. It's strike one.
Looks like he hit a pretty good spot with it.
Yes, he did. Yeah, if you were just kind of channeling for a pitch that was a mistake pitch, that wasn't it. High drive right field. Schaefer's got a lot of lift on this one, and at the wall, Ethier went up, and that one reached the seats for a grand slam by Jordan Schaefer. There's a bases loaded hit.
Second home run of the year for Jordan Schaefer. He just doubled his RBI output plus one.
First grand slam by an Astro since Brian Bogasevic hit that pinch game-winning slam in the bottom of the ninth against the Cubs last year.
Billingsley came back with a breaking ball. Jordan went down and got it off the end of the glove of Ethier.
Oh.
And into the seats. Front row Joe.
Counts for 4. And it's 6-0 as Chad Lowry takes strike one. First career grand slam for Jordan Schaefer. And the Astros get their first slam of the year. Now Lowry gets underneath this one, and it heads for the left fielder Hairston. That's out number 2. We look back to the slam, and Ethier did get leather on it. It was up there a long time.
Yeah, it's tough to tell whether it's going to get out or not. And Ethier all the way to the wall. Pretty good ups there, but not able to haul it in.
Have plenty of time to scope that one out, and time is leap. Second slam allowed by Dodger pitching this year. Martinez next. Ball 1 to JD. Well, Schaefer now has 7 runs batted in with that swing of the bat. Fouled away by Martinez. It's a 1-1 strike count. That's the 4th home run allowed by Billingsley this season.
It's reminiscent of the National Series where 3 of those ball games the Astros couldn't get anything going offensively, and then they went nuts. Scored 11 in the finale.
Yeah. Bouncer just foul. That's true. They really broke out, and they wound up outscoring the Nationals for the 4-game series, but they lost 3 out of 4. First home run of the series for the Astros came when Carlos Lee connected. Now they've hit 2 in 2 innings. We'll get to Greg in a minute after this 1-2 pitch. And it's up. Greg?
Well, you made the point earlier they were only a couple of runs behind the opposition in scoring despite 5 and 10. They're on top of the opposition now.
Well, we talked about it all last year. You draw walks, hit home runs, you score a lot of runs. That's what's happened in this inning.
That's a line drive to left, and Hairston back for the catch. Big moment as Jordan Schaefer gets his first major league grand slam, and it lifts the Astros on top 6-0 in the 7th.
comfortable day. Hey, Astros fans, Chevy is proud to present a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston, or you can visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Brownie?
Well, we just found out that everybody gets a Grand Slam breakfast who was here today from Denny's. I guess they take in the ticket stubs. Is that good in Milwaukee, JD?
I don't know. I could try it, Brownie.
Chad Billingsley takes strike one.
I think that comes with fluffy pancakes and your choice of sausage and bacon.
All right, well, we'll see if anybody doesn't want their ticket stubs, and we'll take those ticket stubs to Milwaukee and go in Denny's and see if they honor it. Rolled out to shortstop, Jed Lowry.
It's amazing how often it happens that the guy who gives up the Grand Slam leads off the next inning.
Hadn't thought about that baseball convention, but come to think of it, yeah. And then he grounds out. Well, it's the third time this year the Astros have hit 2 homers in a game. They did it in each of the first 2 games and not since. Now D. Gordon grounded out to Carlos Lee leading off the ball game.
Still a lot of baseball yet to be played, so you got to concentrate, battle. Don't open up any doors the way the Dodgers have with the walks and the errors.
Slap to shortstop. Lowry, as the ball stays down, throws over to Lee. He had to make everything work because the way Gordon runs, any little bobble and he would have been saved.
Yeah, I thought he was going to beat it as it was, but Lowry able to get him by just a skosh.
Ball didn't come up for him, JD.
He's coming through, got around that ball, had good momentum going forward, and then unloaded in a hurry. Bang, bang. Could have gone either way, really. Gordon called himself safe. You almost never see a base runner do that.
Mark Ellis, the batter. There's ball 1 to him. He signaled to left field in the first. Wandy had a total of run support of 6 for the first 3 starts coming into this one. He has 6 already in this game. 1 ball and 1 strike. He lost 1-0, giving up 1 run in 7 innings last time out at Washington. On a fly ball that dropped in shallow left field and could have been caught, but now he has working room. Astros made 4 errors in each of his first couple of starts. And he made errors in each of his first 2 starts. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Mark Ellis. Other than that, their defensive play has not been all that bad. 3-2. Today they're trying to cash in on that Dodger error, which they did in the first, and then floodgates really opened after a couple of Billingsley walks in the second. 1 to the pitcher, Wandy. That's a ball.
Absolutely the last guy you want to walk. 2 outs, nobody on. Kemp coming up next, but sometimes you just can't throw it where you want to.
Yeah.
If you could, you'd be Greg Maddux. You threw it exactly where you wanted to all the time. And even the great Greg Maddux misfired every now and then.
Kemp has a career high batting average against lefties of .369. That was set in 08. This year he came into this game hitting .706 against lefties. 12 for 17. Paul LaDuca has the best all-time single season mark for a Dodger against left-handers, .411 in 2001. Jeff Bagwell holds the all-time mark, .457 against lefties in 1994.
And then think about all the times they walked him, either intentionally or semi-intentionally. His on-base percentage against lefties that year must have been .600.
Must have been. 48 pitches in for Wandy.
Wandy and Castro having a hard time getting together this afternoon.
Out to right center field, and Bogusevic with Schaefer making the catch for out number 3 as it goes almost to the bullpen fence. In the third inning, it's no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. 6-0 Astros.
Six to nothing, and it's time for the AT&T Trivia Quiz, and it has to do with the series between the Astros and the Dodgers in 1980. In the West playoff game, who hit a home run for Houston? Actually, the game's only home run.
Okay. Carlos Lee, the batter, and there's strike one. How long should we wait?
Yeah, well, I'll give the folks a tip. These guys are going to know the answer real fast, and we've got to make it as dramatic as we can.
Yes. What a time that was, though. And Craig Reynolds said that was his favorite game.
Well, that's good. See, add little trivia notes to that game before you give the answer.
That was after they had been swept a 3-game set.
There you go. That's another good.
To set up that extra playoff.
We are here to educate, and not just the answer to the trivia question. The little background stuff is great.
They had a send-off, Terry Poole said, after the final home game. Going to Los Angeles, they needed only one more win to clinch that playoff spot. The fans in the Dome sent them off. Here's Carlos Lee. He sent one off in the first inning. Oh, and he rips his line drive. Hairston over with the grab. Is it held up a little bit? Wasn't as well hit as we thought, was it?
Yeah. I think you've waited long enough since you know the answer. If you want.
Okay. Let's go with Art Howe then.
A motivational pregame clubhouse dance by Cheo Cruz, really the difference maker.
This is officially the answer from AT&T Trivia, and it is Art Howe.
Art drove in 5 runs in that game. There's Cheo Cruz alongside. Is Nikki broadcasting tonight?
I don't know.
Looks like she is today. Brian Bogusevic with ball 1. Brian struck out in the first. She's actually broadcasting. They have, they've got a wonderful group over there. There's Francisco and Nikki and Cheo.
Está tan cerca la afición que pues pueden convivir.
That's good stuff. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's get some more from Francisco.
Pero como quiera que la pongas es algo que a la afición le gusta mucho, ¿no?
Sí, bastante. Los jugadores están afuera. Puedes tomar fotos con, o sea, no con ellos, pero puedes estar allí bien cerca y puedes oírlos hablando en español.
What's Cheo doing?
Just looking good. Just looking stylish.
Bogusevic takes it. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. They're having a great time.
Not uncommon to see Billingsley run a count full. It is uncommon to see him down 6 runs in the 3rd inning.
Yeah. Ground ball, and Ellis tracks it.
Pretty solid out there, Ellis.
He's good.
Good defender.
Yep. 2 outs now, and you know, these 2 home runs allowed by Billingsley the first 2 innings, pretty rare in his career. He's 7th among major league pitchers with 700 innings or more in keeping down the homers. 0.67 homers per 9 innings on the average. Chris Johnson singled in the 2nd inning to start that 4-run rally. Strike to CJ.
A little bit of that has to do with the fact that he plays his home games at Dodger Stadium. That's a good yard for a pitcher.
Sure is.
So we were talking about Bagwell's '94 season earlier. I looked it up. His on-base percentage against lefties that year was .544. His slugging average was over 1,000. It was 1,095. He had 18 home runs and 105 at-bats against lefties.
That is nuts. That's fisted out behind second, and Gordon cruises over for the 3rd out. After 3, the Astros lead the Dodgers 6-0. Has opened up a 6-0 lead. They've had a lot to watch, including a grand slam by Jordan Schaefer, the first of his major league career in that 4-run second. A 2-run homer by Carlos Lee in the first. Second Sunday of the Astros year-long Family Sundays promotion presented by Minute Maid. Kids take the field, presented by Kroger and Minute Maid. They take each position on the field along with an Astros players for the anthem, Kid Zone, those inflatable games down the right field line, face painters and other activities. That's at Union Station. Kids run the bases will take place after the game. A lot for the families on Sundays all year long. Juan Rivera leads it off. He struck out in the first inning. And there's ball 1. When we get back on Friday, May 4th, the Astros in Action Foundation's Pink in the Park brunch and bazaar will be over at Union Station. And big doings with the Cardinals in town on the 4th and the 5th, with fireworks for both of those games on Friday and Saturday night. And a look at the Redbirds, the defending World Series champions, coming in. Lance Berkman on the disabled list right now, but the Cardinals are still flying high in first place at 10-5.
Well, Kyle Loesch has been outstanding for them. He was their opening day starter. It's interesting they're winning as much as they are. Chris Carpenter out and Adam Wainwright struggling.
Yeah.
They managed to plow through. They lead the Pirates 3-0 today in the middle innings.
3-1 pitch is ball 4, and Wandy has his 3rd walk of the day. 8th year to follow on the Astros side of things. There's a great catch on catch bat by a sliding Jose Altuve in the first inning.
Ken can do nothing but smile, and then Carlos Lee picked out an errant fastball from Chad Billingsley. With a rocket for a home run, and then Jordan Schaefer went down and got a breaking ball, and just beyond the reach of Andre Ethier for the grand slam. Great crowd shot there, people reacting.
And Ethier reacting, he just stayed down. He knew it had hit his glove, and he couldn't quite hold it. There's ball 1 to him. You know, the Cardinals are playing their 15th divisional game already this year. The Astros haven't played a single one yet, but they will tomorrow at Milwaukee.
Busting an inside fastball to finish him off last time. Grousing, he thought the ball was off the plate a little bit. Now drops down, so every now and then he'll lower that arm angle a little bit. Shoot that ball to the outside edge. Nothing if not crafty.
2-1. The Astros have 6 runs on 3 hits. The Dodgers no runs on 1 hit and 1 error. Altuve to his left, gets it to Lowry. Lowry to lead, safe at first. Altuve had to spin and make a pretty long throw back to the shortstop Lowry, and then that gave Ethier a chance to beat the Rap on a double play.
Yeah, Ethier runs pretty well. Good feed from Altuve, and Lowry comes across the bag to make the throw. Ethier clearly safe. Fans didn't like it, they're booing, but it was the right call.
One out. Here's Hairston. Hairston walked and stole a base in the 2nd inning. Now the Astros begin divisional play tomorrow night. Lucas Harrell and Zach Greinke. Strike to Hairston. Astros Live will be on the air at 6:30 tomorrow night. And Tuesday night it's Bud Norris and Randy Wolf. Same airtime for that game. Wednesday's a day game from Milwaukee. Matching Jay Happ and Sean Markham. In the air, and it heads out to Bogusevic with the glasses down and right. 2 down. So it's Harrell, Norris, and Happ against Greinke, Wolf, and Markham. And 11:30 is the airtime for Wednesday's day game on FS Houston.
12-10 start, eh?
Yep.
Man,
that's right.
Get out of bed and go to the yard.
That's
Go
it.
get them. What's up with that, Brownie? It's like Legion ball.
It's, yeah, probably a business fan special.
Yeah, but noon as opposed to like 1 o'clock?
Well, it's lunchtime. You know, they've got the brats going, and Senior Citizen and Kids Days on Wednesday in Milwaukee. It's a long-standing tradition, JD.
But still doesn't explain why they're playing at noon as opposed to like 1 o'clock.
Well, they get up at 5 in the morning there.
Maybe they play at noon so the seniors can catch the early bird dinner after the game.
They'll be napping by 3. Rolled out to shortstop. And Lowry gets it over to first in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded. Still 6-0 Houston.
you by Jack in the Box. Right now at the Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. Now back to the booth. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Where are you, Greg?
I am down here on the far end of the dugout, and about comparable to where I sit when I'm at Wrigley Field. And just like in the sun, like at Wrigley Field.
We can't
see
you.
You got your sunscreen on?
I'd have to stand up for you to see me. I'll stand up.
There you are.
There you are.
Just past the root.
Yep, just past the roof.
The root.
Your answer is no.
Okay, Castro with a liner to center field. Kemp. Whoa, he started in, it goes back, and now it's going to roll up Towns Hill. And here goes Castro. Around second, headed for third. Dave Clark is going to bring him to third and stop him there as the throw comes in from Gordon. And that was some fun for these fans as Kemp took a couple steps in, then he couldn't get back, and Castro is at third leading off the inning.
Always a difficult play for a center fielder. The ball's hit on a line right at him, and Kemp misplayed one last night in a critical situation, but scrambled back to make the play. This time he couldn't get back in time.
He whiffed on it. It's a triple for Castro.
See, when the hitter goes down and puts that kind of a swing on it, it's going to have a lot of bat spin, and I think that fooled Kemp. I had a little more carry. Kind of like a one iron. This is about the time you say Castro runs pretty well for a catcher.
Castro with a triple, second major league triple. Waiting at third for Altuve. So Altuve batting eighth now. Comes up in his second RBI type situation in this game. Infielders move in tight. And that's ball one. Wandy Rodriguez on deck. Altuve hit a fly ball to right with runners at first and second. And nobody out in the second inning. Astros up by 6, trying to cash in on this golden opportunity. It's in tight for ball 2. 2-0 for Billingsley, who had walked 1 in 20 and a third innings coming into this game. He walked 2 in the second inning.
Walked Castro and then inexcusably walked Wandy when he was up there trying to put a sac bunt down.
Strike call there makes it 2-1 to Jose Altuve. Hitters often tell themselves to hit the ball back through the middle in a situation like this. There's a lot of room to D. Gordon's left.
And that approach tends to lend itself to a fly ball too. More so if you try to pull, you might roll over on one and hit a ground ball. Medium deep fly ball should get the run home, so you kind of take that, keep the hands inside the ball, middle of the diamond approach.
3-1. Altuve takes a strike call and it's 3-2.
Working him inside here in this sequence. That was a little cutter, little front door cutter there, number 5, that just sat on the inside corner up around the letters.
Altuve expanded his zone and fouled it back. But Brad Mills feels that Jose's a very good bad ball hitter, and sometimes the number 8 hitter can do some damage if he has that quality.
Yeah, there are times where you ask an 8-hole hitter, it's part of the job description, to go out of the strike zone to try to drive in around. This would not be one of them because there's nobody out in the inning. But yeah, he does. He has such good eye-hand coordination. He hits all kinds of pitches.
That's ball 4. Altuve walks. It's first and third. That's the third walk for Billingsley, and Wandy Rodriguez bats. And he may be bunting here to sacrifice Altuve to second.
That would be the play. Just straight sacrifice here, and then Castro can kind of come down the line and read it. And if the opportunity presents itself, scamper home.
Wandy scored a run after that walk in the second when Schaefer hit the grand slam. Schaefer's on deck right now. That's ball 1. Dodgers starters have a 2.65 ERA. That's third best in the National League. Astros have come up against a run of good pitching with the Marlins, Nationals, and Dodgers successively. Now they run into Greinke, Wolf, and Markham in Milwaukee. And then they go to Cincinnati.
They cannot throw a strike to Wandy.
Crazy.
Astros will triple you, boy. They could triple you. 3 in that first inning in Washington the other day. That was exciting.
Yeah, back-to-back triples included. Wandy swings away, bounces Billingsley. Will go for the double play. Low throw there, drop. Run scores and everybody's safe. And it's 7-0. Castro comes in. When Billingsley throws to second, his throw pulls Gordon off the bag and he drops it. And nobody out.
Chad Billingsley was 4-0 at Minute Maid Park with a very low ERA. And he tries to turn 2 here. And that really wasn't the play. They're down 6 runs already. Don Mattingly had the infield pulled in to cut that runoff at home. I think he made the wrong decision to try for the double play. Then he made the errant throw. I think the play is to make a play on Castro.
Right, because they were already down by 6. The error is charged to Gordon on Altuve reaching second. Wandy gets an RBI. And Castro scores to make it 7-0. Wandy's first RBI of the season. And Schaefer bats and pulls one on the ground. There's Rivera going to second. And another bad throw means only 1 out on the play as Gordon has to stretch to the backhand side to force Wandy. Altuve to third. Schaefer safe at first.
Yeah, Dodgers having a hard time with their throws this afternoon. That would have been a difficult double play to turn with Schaefer going down the line. 2 long throws, but it was hit sharply enough where they had a shot at it.
Jed Lowry comes up with men on at the corners. 1 out.
Used to drive coaches nuts when players didn't like to take infield practice. And the coaches say, I know you can catch a ground ball, but you just practice throwing to the bases and try to simulate game situation. There's some value in that.
Lowry takes ball 1. Mets are rained out at home against the Giants today. They had a wild one yesterday. Talk about errors and misplays. They had it. Yankees play at Boston tonight. Sabathia and Bard. 2-0. Bobby Valentine tipped his cap when they were booing him as he came out to change pitchers.
Yeah. Talk about a man under duress. Got Kurt Schilling yelling at him. The fans are booing him. They're chanting Tito. We want Tito.
Jamie Wright warming up in the bullpen for the Dodgers. Yeah, that's going to be a soap opera in Boston this year.
Billingsley looks like he's toast.
3-0 as Wright gets ready in the pen. Cincinnati just got 2 in the top of the third to lead the Cubs at Wrigley 2-0 with Johnny Cueto on the mound. And Trainer goes out.
Can't believe we've made it this far in a game with Trainer playing and haven't mentioned the fact that his wife's an Olympic volleyball player.
Well, we did. We made it almost 4 innings.
That's a cool factoid.
It really is.
Misty May.
And you said she's shooting for another Olympics, right?
What's her partner name? Walsh? Kelly Walsh, Carrie Walsh, something
Not
like
sure.
that. See, they both, because he puts the fingers down here and she puts the fingers behind her back. So they flash signals.
Ah. Okay.
They probably work on that at home.
Runner takes off from first. The ball gets by, and now Altuve's going to be able to score to make it 8-0, and Schaefer goes all the way to third on a walk to Lowry. A ball 4 and a wild pitch.
Whether it's fatigue or not, Billingsley mentally is checked out of this game. He does not want to be out there right now. You can just tell by the pitches he's making. I'm not accusing him of being a quitter. I'm just saying that everything has gone wrong for him today, and his head is just spinning. Drizzle, drazzle, druzzle, drone. Time for this one to come home.
Well, he's still out there for the moment. J.D. Martinez is getting ready to bat. He's 0 for 2. Don Mattingly's holding onto the rail, buying a little more time here for Wright to get ready. So the walk to Lowry, the 4th walk for Billingsley, and then Schaefer took 3rd on the wild pitch.
Going to do it. Here comes Don Mattingly.
Don with his 51st birthday on Friday. Has his club in first place. Things not going well today. 2-run homer by Lee in the first. Grand slam by Schaefer in the second. A couple of more runs home here. It is 8-0 Astros. Back in a moment.
The score 8-0. I want to tell you about something. After wearing the Colt 45 jerseys on Flashback Fridays in April, the Astros will wear the 1960s Shooting Star uniforms on Fridays in May, beginning May 4th against the Cardinals. Astro legend Rusty Staub will toss the ceremonial first pitch, and Friday night fireworks will be set to 60s music. Tickets always available at Astros.com. That's as easy as getting your computer, getting your seats, and getting near to the ball game for another Flashback Friday. Ronnie?
Oh, people are really enjoying those for a lot of reasons. Yeah, the uniform's one of them, fireworks another, and with the Cardinals in town, that'll be fun. There is Lane Zeben, and he is the voice of the Sugarland Skeeters, an independent minor league team, just about ready to begin play in Sugarland with Gary Gaetti, former Astro coach, as the manager.
The G-Man.
Yeah.
You cannot sneak the cheese by the rat.
He's a good baseball man. Jamie Wright's in the game with a 1.69 ERA. Runners at first and third, and there is strike one.
Pretty good action on that sinker from the veteran right-hander.
Yeah, we saw him in last night's game. He worked the final inning of a Dodger 5-1 win. Had a 1-2-3 frame. Threw only 16 pitches last night, so he probably won't be in too long today. He throws a strike. And Jamie, a former starting pitcher, 37 years old. He was a first-round pick by the Rockies in '93, and he's really bounced around. He was with Seattle last year. He is 2-12 lifetime against the Astros, which is better than 0-12, and that's how he started.
A couple of years as a starter with the Milwaukee Brewers.
You know, Don Sutton lost his first 13 decisions to the Cubs back in the 60s. Fred Beebe was 0-14 against the New York Giants from 06 through 09. Herm Waymire was 0-14 against St. Louis to begin his career. So Jamie Wright 0-12 to start against the Astros. Has won a couple since then. Ground ball third, and Uribe leaves his feet, gets up, throws to second. Oh, wow. Was that close? As the run came home to make it 9-0. Schaefer scoring on what's called a 5-4 force, but did he really get Lowry? That's the question.
Yeah, and Uribe just kind of like a hand grenade the way he tossed that ball to second base. I think he was going to go to first, and I don't know if somebody was yelling 2-2-2. It looked like he had a change of mind, a change of direction before making that toss. Looked like Lowry beat it. I don't know. He's looking at first base and then ultimately makes the throw to second. That was funky.
That was. Tom Hallion with the out call. Now Carlos Lee with ball one. He is homered and flied to left.
I don't know if it was a case of he had forgotten how many outs there were, or somebody was yelling 2-2-2.
It has been a long inning.
Yeah, it sure has. I understand if the player had a little bit of a lapse of concentration. Astros with 9 runs in this ball game now on 4 hits.
That's odd.
That is really odd. Walks, errors, misplays. Kemp was not charged with an error on that Castro ball, but certainly a bad read.
Ellis with a sharply hit bouncer from Lee turns it into out number 3. The Astros bat 7 men in the 4th inning, and they lead it now 9-0.
Game break, rebuild Mazda's What Do You Drive? And in the game break today, we're looking at other games involving National League Central clubs. We'll start in Pittsburgh, where the division-leading Cardinals are trying to stretch that divisional lead a little bit. They lead the Pirates 3-0 in the 7th. David Freese singled in a couple of runs to break a scoreless tie there. Kyle Lose has allowed just 4 hits. Colorado leading Milwaukee in the 4th. Jason Giambi with an RBI single. And Cincinnati over the Cubs 2-0 in the 4th. Joey Votto has an RBI, as does Scott Rowland. Johnny Cueto against Randy Wells in that one. That's your Mazda game break. Brownie and JD, back to you guys.
Thank you, Bart. There's strike one to Matt Trainer. He leads off the 5th inning with the score 9-0 Houston. The Astros 9 runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Dodgers 0 runs, 1 hit, 2 errors. A very strange kind of a day, especially for the Dodgers. They've been playing so well. Not today.
Yeah. That's not a good Sunday club. They're going back to L.A.
Is that what it is?
Play Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
They're going to take the 1 to the 5.
The 1 to the 5.
Yeah. It's always the 1. It's not Highway 1 or Route 1. It's the 1.
The
Okay.
1 to the 5 to get home.
The 10. The Harbor Freeway.
1 and 2. Well,
if you have a chance, Google the SNL skit from the other night, last weekend. It's called The Californians.
Okay.
Very funny.
Trainer with a broken bat, bouncer up the middle. Good play by Altuve. Well, Trainer, who was born in Garden Grove, California, knows all about those freeways.
He was playing outstanding.
He is, isn't he?
Defensively at second base. Yeah.
Yes.
He's a good-looking player. He's 21 years old.
He is a good-looking player. Now the pitcher spot comes up, and Wright is going to stay in and hit. 147 his average, 1 homer, 17 runs batted in for Jamie. Jamie's from Oklahoma, born in Oklahoma City. His former high school was hit by a tornado in '99. Woo!
Thank you, net. That was scary.
Yeah, that saved some fans because the net and that broken bat landed way up on that net.
Yeah. It's one thing when a bat in one piece goes flying into the stands, but a broken bat, that pointed end, that could have been trouble. That might have ruined somebody's day at the ballpark.
Yeah. Well, you know, in Washington Monday night, I was sitting down behind the Astros dugout because we weren't working, and there was a broken bat about 8 seats away.
Make a play?
Are you kidding? The only play I'm making is to get under a seat. 1 ball, 1 strike. But when you're sitting down close like that, folks, please watch the game.
Yeah.
Do not look away. That can be scary.
Sometimes I think people forget they're at a live sporting event. They think they're at a theater of some sort, and they're just really safe. And
that's strikeout number 3 for Wandy.
well, Wandy, a third of an inning away from qualifying for the win, but he wants a lot more than that today with this comfortable lead. He would love to give Brad Mills at least 7 innings here today and save the bullpen as they get ready for the road trip.
That would be very nice. D. Gordon is 0 for 2. He's bounced out twice. D was born in Windermere, Florida. Didn't Tiger Woods hang out there for a while?
I think so, yeah.
Ball 1. He went to Seminole Community College.
And that where Tiger was on that fateful night?
I believe it was Windermere, Florida. Yep. One ball and 2 strikes. So his dad, Flash Gordon, was blessed with a tremendous arm, and he was blessed with great legs and speed. Boy, this guy can really scoot. And of course, then it becomes a matter of getting on base.
Right, that's the key for him. If he can get on base, obviously if he could get up to around 350 on base percentage, that would be outstanding for him.
Not this time. Wandy strikes him out. That's number 4. Gordon's 0 for 3. The Astros lead it 9-0 in the 5th.
way, a lot of people talking baseball. You want to talk with JD and Brownie, at least send them an email that they will answer in the booth. Some of those will be selected. Here's how you do it. You go to foxsportshouston.com. You click on Game Connect, and once you're there, there's a spot that says email the booth, email the announcers. Do that, send your note, and Brownie and JD will pick a couple of them, and that will be what they'll talk about. That'll be Wednesday in Milwaukee the next time we do it on a pregame show. So, guys, let's hear from you. Back to you.
Thanks, Greg. Here's Brian Bogusevic. He struck out and grounded out. Jamie Wright throws ball 1. Chad Billingsley went 3 1/3 innings, allowing the Astros 4 hits and 9 runs. 5 of the runs were earned. He walked 4.
Just an ugly day for the Dodgers. He struggled with the walks, and then the missed plays behind him really opened up the door. Just 4 hits, and the Astros pushed 9 runs across. Only halfway through this ball game.
Bogusevic bounces it. Rivera tosses. 1 out.
You know, the Astros played the Dodgers on this date in 1981.
Okay.
The Dodgers had a pitcher by the name of Fernando Valenzuela. You might remember him.
Okay.
He tossed a shutout. It was his third in 4 starts, and he drove in the only run in a 1-0 win.
Hey, he could hit. You're right. About that. Now here's Chris Johnson. He singled as a part of that grand slam inning for Jordan Schaefer in the 2nd inning, and then he popped short. Wright has a no-hitter going this season. Hasn't given up a hit. There's strike 1. This is his 7th appearance. He's now pitched 6 1/3 innings and allowed no hits.
Nice to have a veteran like Wright you can bring into a game like this. Who will hang in there and battle for you. A lot of guys don't want to pitch in these mop-up roles. Would you say last night this is the 7th consecutive year he's made a club as a non-roster invitee to spring training?
Good memory.
That is really something. So
It
if you're
is.
that guy, you just want the ball. I don't care, Skip. Put me in there.
Uh-oh. CJ got drilled on an 0-2 pitch.
That curveball that just slipped out of his hand, didn't finish the pitch. If you're going to get hit, that's the one you want to get hit by. Lazy breaking ball.
Got him around the left hip. Well, the Astros have another base runner here. They have had 4 hits, 4 walks, now a hit batsman. A couple of errors for the Dodgers. Castro hit that ball that could have been caught by Kemp, but it came in, so it was a triple over his head. He's also walked and scored twice. Strike to Jason. St. Louis 3, Pittsburgh nothing. Bottom of the 7th. Kyle Loesch has that lead in Pittsburgh.
Man, has he been good?
Yes. He has been good this year. Wainwright has struggled big time, but Loesch has helped to pick up the slack. How about what do we hear about Chris Carpenter? When is he coming back?
I haven't heard anything about him lately.
No. Oh, we'll find out when the Cardinals come in here May 4th. Mike Matheny, the new skipper, getting rave reviews for his work.
I gave up his first major league home run.
Mike Matheny?
He was a Brewer.
What year was it?
93 or 4.
Did you hear the story about Phil Garner? And Mike Matheny?
I've heard a lot of stories about Phil Garner, but
that's a wild pitch. Yeah, not the story, but the story about Phil Garner and Mike Matheny. Mike Matheny came up with the Brewers. Phil was a manager, and he didn't know who Mike Matheny was, according to legend around here. We haven't checked with Phil on this, but they were playing a spring training game, and can't remember who the hitter was, but somebody got all out of whack and was about to charge the Brewers pitcher, and Matheny just body slammed him. And Garner said, "I've got to have that guy on my team."
Gar, if you're watching, you can text and give us verification.
Absolutely.
I thought you were going to say Gar said that guy's going to manage in the big leagues someday.
Well, he might have said that too. Maybe. But yeah, now Mike Matheny's the skipper without any managing experience. And that's going to be fascinating to see how things go in St. Louis.
Yeah, is that an enviable position or not if you're Mike Matheny? You're taking over a World Series club, so you got a lot of talent.
Hit sharply up the middle, past the diving Ellis into center field. CJ around to score to make it 10-0 on the RBI single by Castro.
Mercy rule.
Castro gets his 5th run batted in.
Load up the truck. Let's go to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Hey, not too fast now. Red Sox had a 9-0 lead over the Yankees the other day. Was that yesterday? It was yesterday.
It was yesterday, yes.
Good day at the plate for Jason Castro. Drew a walk first time up. That was part of that big inning where Schaefer hit the grand slam. He laid off a close 3-2 pitch, then hit the rocket to center last time, and now the RBI single here.
Now Altuve, there's strike one. Altuve walked and scored in the 4th. Last time the Astros were swept in a series at Minute Maid Park, a 2-game series in 04. Last time they were swept by LA in a 3-game set in Houston was 85 in the Astrodome. But now they lead it 10-0 as Altuve looks at a ball.
We've not been swept in this ballpark since
a 2-game series in 04.
That can't be right.
Let's check that further.
Must have gotten swept here. Last year we lost 106 ball games.
Okay, we'll check it. We're getting contradictory notes here. 2 balls and a strike.
Or swept by the Dodgers, probably.
It must be. It doesn't say that, but that's the presumption, yes. Altuve rolls over on that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But anyway, the Matheny thing, right? So he takes over the World Series champions. That's a good thing. You got all kinds of good players. But expectations are awfully high, and you're the new guy. You're coming in for a future Hall of Famer in La Russa. I think it might be easier to be like in Robin Ventura's spot to take over a club where expectations aren't that great.
Yeah. And Robin also had no experience. Bouncer to third. Uribe throws to first, and that throw didn't have a whole lot on it either, but it gets Altuve for out number 2. Now it'll be Wandy Rodriguez. Well, it was a very interesting choice by the Cardinals. And the White Sox too, for that matter. One of those guys who had not managed at any level. Working out fine for both clubs so far. The White Sox are 8-6. Not a bad start. Adam Dunn's hit a couple of home runs. He looks like he's back on track after a horrible year last year. They just got a perfect game from Philip Humber. Strike 1 to Wandy.
Wandy looked like he was trying to unload there.
He really did. Yeah, he had a big cut. Well, he's tired of being pitched around here.
Wow. Give me something to swing at. Look at him.
Yep. No balls, 2 strikes. Wandy get credit for an RBI in the 4th inning.
He doesn't want to run the bases. He either wants to go deep or strike out.
Now that makes some sense. He pokes this one in a hole at short, but Uribe is over in front of the shortstop, Gordon, to take care of out number 3. It's 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left for the Astros. They lead it after 5, 10-0.
the 6th. Time now to introduce you to my progressive fan of the game, and it's not very often my fan of the game wears a cape, but this man does right here. The aluminum, say it again, the aluminum man, music man.
Aluminum can music man.
The aluminum can music man. You got your cape on. You're all dressed in green. It is Earth Day today, for those of you who didn't know, and tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay, well, I am the aluminum can music man. I'm basically a recycling superhero who travels around Harris County, promoting recycling with one cape, one guitar, and a pocket full of green songs. And today, the community at Helms Elementary School, which is where I live, where I was born, we had a fundraiser with the help of Joe Schiavi and the Astros ticket department, and people could buy discounted tickets and come to the game, and a little bit of the proceeds go back to the school to promote recycling projects at Helms Elementary. So we picked a good game to come to with the roof open and a 10-0 lead for the Astros, for sure.
Yeah, you absolutely did, and I know you're a big Astros fan. In fact, you have a blog, Farm Astros, is that what it's called? And you are pretty up on the Astros farm system.
It's called Farm Astros. That's another one of my projects. It's the place where we follow the Astros of the future, which the Astros of the future are looking a little more bright than the Astros of the future were looking 3 years ago, to be honest.
All right, and you're as the music man. Tell us how you incorporate the music with the Astros, with baseball, and feel free to give us a little sample.
Okay, well, to tie it in, I mean, I grew up as a baseball fan, but I'm also a musician, and I've ended up writing a green version of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," which has actually been played at the Astros AAA affiliate in Tri-City a couple years ago. There's been some discussion with one of the independent league teams in Houston about using me in the future, but the part of it, the Astros version of this "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" goes, root, root, root for the Astros. If they don't win, it's a shame. Reduce, reuse, recycle to every day the same.
Very, very impressive. That is our progressive fan of the game. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Patty.
Guys.
We should use him on that little clip on the scoreboard that we play for the fans with different people
Absolutely.
singing that song. Yeah, thanks, Patty. Wandy Rodriguez throws the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. 1-2 to Mark Ellis, who has a single and a walk.
Only hit the Dodgers have today. Ellis in the top of the first.
Yeah.
Kind of gets lost with all the offense, the job that Wandy's doing here this afternoon.
It really does. Schaefer's over in right center. The ball goes to the left of Lowry into left center. Oh, Ellis has both the Dodger hits.
Ellis had a headache or something when he came to the ballpark this morning.
Yeah.
A little stomach bug. Maybe Wandy has a no-hitter going.
Yeah, you're right. John Pyle is here today, an ultra marathoner. He was a part of the pregame ceremonies. He's in Houston as he continues his 3,200-mile Patriot run across America to benefit the Wounded Warrior Project. He began his transcontinental run in San Francisco March 1st. He's carrying that American flag that was flown over Camp Eggers in Kabul, Afghanistan. That one gets by, and Ellis is able to get to second base. That's called a pass ball. I think that's pronounced Kabul, Afghanistan. Anyway, John Pyle is running 3,200 miles, so it's good to have him today.
Man. He's going to need a foot doctor when he's done.
Whew. You ever run 3,200, JD?
No.
Matt Kemp is 0 for 2.
Not total in my entire life.
Interesting story about Matt Kemp in Sports Illustrated last year, quoting Brad Ausmus as to this man's talents. Baseball one. Brad Ausmus has observed a lot of baseball in his life, and he said the only guys who rank up there with Matt Kemp as far as athletes that he has seen play the game at the major league level are Bo Jackson and Carlos Beltran. And I was asking Brad Mills about that. He said, well, I was in the stands in San Francisco watching Willie Mays.
Yeah.
He was a heck of an athlete. Of course, that's a little bit before Brad's time.
Yeah.
So what would you think? 2-1.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's almost every night he's the best athlete on the field, right, Kemp?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a contemporary that I would put with him in terms of just athleticism. Beltran would be a good one.
Mm-hmm. How about count goes to 3-1? All the guys you've ever seen play Major League Baseball. Oh, Brad Mills threw out Andre Dawson also. And
yeah, especially before the knees.
Yeah,
because he could run pretty well before the knees.
Yeah, he really could.
Well, Tim Raines.
Okay.
Ricky Henderson.
Yeah. That's a strike. 3-2 now to Matt Kemp.
I don't know if you consider power, as part of the athletic package, but if you're just talking about speed and Henderson, just a tremendous athlete. Eric Davis.
Yeah.
John Kruk.
What?
Oh, yeah. Krucky's book, remember? I ain't an athlete, lady, I'm a ball player.
Oh. Haven't read that one. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. That's number 5 for Wandy.
Maybe that's his weakness. Neck-high curveballs.
Apparently so. He's done everything else right this year. Today has to be certainly his worst day of the season, right? 0 for 3, and then he misplayed that ball in center field. Just guessing. Rivera's next. He struck out and walked. Strike 1 to him. That's a good question, though. The best athletes you've ever seen.
Did we have the, I guess earlier, we were talking about Jaime Harima. I asked him about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he mentioned Willie Davis, talking about Dodgers, best Dodgers ever.
Oh, Willie Davis, okay.
He'd seen, yeah. Or Tommy Davis.
Tommy Davis. Well, Boots says Dave Parker.
Parker was a heck of an athlete.
Yeah.
Before he got big. I mean, bigger. Mantle
was definitely
Josh
fantastic
Hamilton.
athlete.
Hamilton would be the contemporary, I guess, of Kemp. That would be the one guy I would say.
You're right.
2 guys that could just do everything on a baseball field.
You're right. 2 balls and a strike. Sharply hit. Lowry plays it off to the side and gets him. And it's out number 2. Meanwhile, we go to Greg.
Hey, you want to come into some big bucks?
Yes.
Well, get involved in the all-new $2 Powerball from the Texas Lottery. It's landed, and the current estimated annuitized jackpot is $173 million. Play today because Powerball has changed for the bigger.
That's more than it was yesterday, Greg.
It's just amazing how it grows.
Sign me up.
What are they working with, the emerging market fund or what with that growth like that? Andre Ethier is 0 for 2. He struck out and bounced into a force play.
Speaking of Hamilton, he went deep again today. He now has 7. The Rangers and the Tigers are tied 2-2, top of the 9th in Detroit. So some pretty good pitching going on with those 2 lineups.
You bet.
2-2 game in the 9th.
That's uncommon pitching with those 2 lineups. You're right, and all the power on both those clubs. Usually don't see them held down like that.
Uncommon's got really good stuff.
Well, let's check who Uncommon is. Oh, Colby Lewis started for Texas. He went 7. And Smiley, is it John Smiley?
Can't be.
It's Smyly.
It's Guy Smiley.
Guy Smiley. All right, he went 7. Guy Smiley. The fly ball to center field.
He's a Sesame Street character.
Yes, he is. But he's also pretty good. And that's the 3rd out. It's no runs a hit and the man stranded. It's 10-0 Houston.
Calling all dog lovers, bring your dog to Minute Maid Park for the Astros annual Dog Day Sunday. Dog Day afternoon, May 6th, the Astros host the Cardinals. All kinds of fun pregame festivities for you and your dog. The on-field pooch parade, costume contest, all these very exciting, one of the highlights of the year. Root now and buy tickets at astros.com/dogday. Rough for the Astros.
It's been a rough day for the Dodgers. They have Juan Rivera moving to right field now from first. And there's Tony Gwynn Jr. in center field. Kemp and Ethier coming out of the game. And at first base, it's Adam Kennedy. Bottom of the 6th inning. Schaefer batting. Taking strike one. Jordan hit a grand slam in the 2nd inning. He is 1 for 3. Has scored 2 runs. First major league slam coming in that 2nd inning to give the Astros a 6-0 lead at the time. Carlos Lee hit a 2-run homer in the 1st.
Well, that would be the next piece, right, for Jordan. He's shown us a good patient eye. He's drawn a lot of walks. The small ball, a good bunter, the stolen bases. And, boy, if you can add a little pop to it, hit some home runs or just some extra base power, you've got the whole package.
All right, let's check something on him. 2 balls and a strike. Schaefer hit 2 homers last year in 302 at-bats. Has 4 major league homers coming into this season in 469 at-bats. Has 2 already. Fly ball near the left field line. Hairston over. That's out number 1. Let's see the grand slam swing in the 2nd.
Chad Billingsley struggling with his command in that inning, but he threw a breaking ball down to Schaefer. That wasn't a terrible pitch. He went down and got it. Really used his legs nicely. Got some lift on it, just beyond the reach of Andre Ethier.
That is a big moment. Jed Lowry is ready to go now. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. That's Drew Smiley pitching for Detroit. That's a strike.
I'm going to guess the winning percentage for teams that hit a grand slam in the game in the long history of our fine sport is probably about 94%.
94, yeah.
If you, assuming the other team doesn't hit one too.
That's true. 0-2. Drew Smiley, JD, is 6'3" and 190. He's from the University of Arkansas. 22 years old, drafted by the Tigers in the 2nd round in 2010.
Wow. You got the Drew Smiley bio just like that.
We got it.
Did you hear from his mom?
No, I heard from Phil Boudreau. He has an iPhone. One ball and 2 strikes. Martinez on deck. The Astros have played so many close games. They played 6 games decided by 1 run, 3 decided by 2 runs of their 15. Total of 9 close ones, and now a rare blowout game for them. They scored a high of 12 runs in a game last year. By the last time they were swept, by the way, we're wondering about that last September, early September here by Milwaukee in a 3-game series. So we were talking about the last sweep of the Astros by the Dodgers here years ago in a 3-game set. That's a liner to right field. Lowry joins in the fun. Hit number 6 for the Astros.
That's what we were talking about with Jed earlier, from the left side, a pull hitter, and that's why Brad Mills likes him in the 2-hole, his ability to hit the ball. And that time he hit it on the line, but he hit a lot of ground balls on the right side. So if you got a man on first that's being held on, you created a hole for him.
Now he's aboard for J.D. Martinez. J.D. is 0 for 3, got an RBI in the 4th inning. 10 runs on 6 hits for the Astros. Well, Josh Hamilton, you told us, hit a home run today for Texas. That's his 7th. Matt Kemp is the major league leader with 9.
And probably the bigger news in that game is that Mike Napoli has not hit a home run for the Rangers, because I think he's hit one in like 5 consecutive games.
You are correct, sir. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Maybe he's got the day off.
Could be. Day game after night game, yeah. They played a doubleheader actually yesterday.
No, he's in there playing first base.
Okay. Well, you can understand why Ron Washington would want him in there.
Playing first base today.
Well, Philip Humber threw the perfect game yesterday. Big moment for a Rice kid. from Nacogdoches. A-Rod hit number 631 Friday, 5th on the all-time list. Napoli, 5 homers in 6 games. And the other hand, who's not? Cliff Lee and the Royals. Royals are winless at home. Like that. 0-8, and they have lost 9 in a row. They're 3-11.
Yeah, they were kind of one of those teams that people were this winter were talking about, maybe a club on the rise, and you know they may turn it around.
They could.
Still very early.
It's early.
I mean, we'll still be saying that in July.
Struck him out, 2 outs. We will. You're right. Well, today they're trailing at home again, 4-2 after 5 to Kansas City. To Toronto, rather. They are Kansas City. Carlos Lee hit a 2-run homer in the first. He's 1 for 3. Tampa Bay leads Minnesota 5-2 after 7 in St. Petersburg. Desmond Jennings hit his second home run. Colorado won. Milwaukee won. They're in Milwaukee in the top of the 6th. That's where the Astros will be tonight. They're missing Giovanni Gallardo, who's pitching well today for the Brewers. Defending NL Central champs, and they are currently 7-8. 4-4 at home. Bouncer by Carlos Lee goes to third. Uribe drops it. He's had a rough day. Runners at first and second, 2 outs now. Error on Uribe. Third Dodger error today.
Well, you know, I guess the good thing from a Dodgers point of view is nobody can point the finger at anybody else and say, well, if not for you, we would have lost this game. It's been an ugly game all the way around.
Yeah.
Fielders, pitching, hitting.
It's truly a team effort. Yeah, he just didn't make the transfer. Now Bogusevic, 0 for 3. 2 men on for Brian with 2 outs. That's ball 1. Jamie Wright can get a lot of ground balls. He has that sinker going. It's been a big pitch for the 6'5" right-hander down through the years. It's 2-0.
That Rocky Brewer game, Milwaukee has just 2 hits in that ball game. 1-1. Jeremy Guthrie, who pitched the opening game of the season here for the Rockies, pitching well against that Brewer club today against Giovanni Gallardo.
Rockies are tied for second behind Los Angeles in the NL West with San Francisco. Did you see what, speaking of San Francisco, Bruce Bochy wound up doing at second base late in the game yesterday in New York? Aubrey Huff,
oh my,
was playing second, and he didn't go to the bag in a double play situation on a ground ball to the shortstop. And that was a part of the unraveling in that final inning. And the Giants lost the game. Bogey takes a walk, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs. For Chris Johnson.
Well, Jamie Wright has done a nice job for Don Mattingly coming into this game and getting some outs for him to preserve the bullpen, but he appears to me to be really out of gas, really falling off his delivery out there. And it looks like Mattingly's going to make the move.
He got what he could out of Jamie. Going through the order the second time here. He's faced 3 hitters twice in this game. The lefty Scott Elbert has been warming up for Don Mattingly's club. Don makes that slow walk out. He's not made the move yet.
Maybe can you give me one more? Can you get one more, big fella? Give him a little breather.
Well, if they get a man on, the pitcher spot would come up in the 7th. So he's going to try to get one more. Chris Johnson has scored twice. He's singled. He's been hit by a pitch.
I think Mattingly there just giving his veteran a chance if he wanted to say skip on toast, man. I think Mattingly would have made the move. But Johnny said, you know, I got a lefty on deck, got my left-hander warming in the pen for Castro. Can you give me one more hitter?
Jamie's thrown 47 pitches, 27 for strikes. Strike to Johnson. After working last night, he's really done his part for the club today. and trying to stretch it out and get one more batter. That would make it 2 2/3 innings if he does. Ground ball off the thumbs to third base. Uribe takes care of the final out. And it's no runs a hit. One error. 3 men left after 6. 10-0 Houston.
Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Hyundai. New Hyundai owners are talking about their cars in the booth. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Beautiful day. You saw the joggers. You see the fans. Those are in the shade are really, really comfortable, but the rest of you in pretty good shape. Wandy Rodriguez has been a story that's been sort of buried with this 10 runs, but he has been superb today. He has gone 6 and not been touched for anything. Too bad it will be buried, but I'm sure he's quite happy with that because he gets 10 runs. He'll be glad to be buried every start.
Yeah, you'll take that 10 spot.
Wandy throws, and there is strike one to Jerry Hairston Jr. leading off the 7th inning. Hairston is 0 for 1 with a walk. The Astros about hit the Dodgers 6-2. Los Angeles with 3 errors. Those numbers for Wandy. Very good. He began the day with a 1.96 ERA. And yet he was 0-2. 1 ball and 1 strike. Because of allowing unearned runs. A fly ball outside the right field line. Bogusevic over. And Wandy had allowed, let's see, 8 runs, but 4 were earned coming into this game. 1-2. This is the first time the Astros have hit, well, if they would hit another grand slam today, it would only be the 2nd time in history they've done that. They've only hit 2 grand slams in a game once, and they did it in the same inning when they did it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In 1969 at New York, what an inning it was during a July 30th doubleheader. Dennis Menke and Jimmy Wynn hit grand slams in the same inning. And that had not happened in the National League since 1890. There's a line shot to right center, in for a hit. Hairston picks up hit number 3 for the Dodgers. And he's aboard for Juan Uribe.
And Wandy's had base runners in every inning except for the 5th. He got the Dodgers in order in the 5th with a couple of punch outs and a ground ball.
Matt Trainer's in the on-deck circle. Uribe tried to check his swing. The appeal goes to first. He didn't check. It's strike 1. Alfonso Marquez on the call. Well, Ryan Braun received his MVP hardware before the game today. in Milwaukee. 1 ball, 1 strike. It was actually the second time he got that award, but they wanted to have the fans be a part of it. It's 2 balls and a strike. 23,948 the paid attendance today on a family Sunday. Glorious day to be outside, as the kids will find out when they run the bases afterwards.
Wandy sitting right at 100 pitches now.
2-2.
Just a matter of what Brad Mills wants to do in the final 2 innings of this game, whether he wants to let Wandy keep going or if he wants to get an inning for a couple of different relievers.
Wandy will be due up third in the bottom half of the inning. Bounce wide of third. Robin Yount, who won 2 MVPs for the Brewers, presented that award to Ryan Braun today. And Braun, with good timing yesterday, snapped an 0 for 16 slump. Hit a home run to tie the game and then had an RBI triple. So he's starting to come out of it now. Slow start for him. There's a strikeout of Uribe. That's number 6 for Wandy.
The way Uribe swung the bat today, he's a bit of a wild swinger. He always has a leaky front side. He pulls off the ball, but he's still been able to inflict some damage over the years. He makes it work, but just his swings and the way he's played third base, he looks like an old guy out there today.
Yeah, he does. He looks a little creaky today. Matt Trainer has bounced out twice. That's ball 1. It'll be interesting to see who is at third base for the Dodgers come tomorrow night against the Atlanta Braves. They've used 3 third basemen in 3 games now. Rockies and Brewers are tied 1-1. They're in the bottom of the 6th. Jeremy Guthrie hanging in there well for Colorado. Texas and Detroit now go to the 10th, tied 2-2. Valverde's in the game for the Tigers. It's 1-1. Cincinnati has scored in the top of the 6th to break a 2-2 tie with the Cubs. It's 3-2 Reds. Phillies and San Diego just getting underway.
Cardinals currently the only team in the Central Division above 500. Entered play today 10-5. Brewers were 7-8. Pirates 6-8. Reds 6-9. Astros 5-10. Cubs 4-11.
So the Astros will move on this 6-game road trip into divisional play for a while. They'll be playing divisional teams in Milwaukee, Cincinnati, and then St. Louis comes in to start the 9-game homestand. Bouncer third, and then it's the throw to second, and Altuve to first, and it's a double play around the horn. 5-4-3 started by Chris Johnson. No runs a hit, nobody left. It's take me out to the ball game right here in the middle of the 7th inning. Fans have just enjoyed the singing of God Bless America, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Now it's Scott Elbert in the game with no decisions in 4 games and a 7.71 ERA. Jason Castro, the batter. Strike one, and he's been perfect today with a walk, a triple, and an RBI single. 2 runs scored for Jason.
Yeah, you can see it on the road trip. Things starting to come together with his swing.
Scott Elbert from Joplin, Missouri. Gets a foul.
Only left-hander in the bullpen for Don Mattingly these days. Elbert, who's spent parts of the last 3 or 4 seasons in the big leagues with the Dodgers, but still looking for his first full year in the major leagues. He's a fastball slider guy.
First round pick in 04. He was the 17th player drafted. He gets a strikeout on Castro. Jamie Wright really helped the Dodger club for tomorrow. Maybe beyond that. Working 2 2/3 innings in relief of Billingsley. Allowing 2 hits, 1 run. He had a walk, a strikeout, and he hit a batter. Jose Altuve has walked and scored in the 4th. He's 0 for 2. Finale of the brief homestand. The Astros go on the road for a week, then they're right back home.
Altuve just 1 hit so far in this series. This is likely his last at bat for the day. It'd be nice to get a knock here and put that in his suitcase for the trip to Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah. Nice to pack that kind of baggage.
Yeah. Made a couple sparkling plays defensively today, in particular the pop-up foul territory off of Kemp. Back in the first. That was about as good a play as we've seen this year.
It was. JD, we see the Mets when we come home.
Yep.
On Monday the 30th. We'll have to wait till May 4th to see the Cardinals. Gonzalez is on deck. Marwin to pinch hit for Wandy with bullpen action going for Brad Mills. It's Fernando Rodriguez warming up. So April 30th begins that 9-game homestand. 3 with the Mets, including a day game on Wednesday the 2nd at 1:05. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Then the Cardinals are in Friday, May 4th through Sunday the 6th. And Miami is the 3rd team in on that homestand.
Wow. Well, after this little drive-by, 3-day stop, it'll be nice to settle in for a few days. 3 different clubs coming to town. Folks can get their little taste of Astros baseball. Get out to the boy. That's a good slider there.
Strikeout number 2. Scott Elbert.
Well, Jose's not going to be able to pack that base hit.
No.
He's going to find it in Milwaukee. Sharp, late breaking slider. Jose pulls off of it a little bit. You see that head drift out on him.
Now pitch hitting for Wandy Rodriguez. It's Marwin Gonzalez. 235 his average. He's driven in 1. And he's played well on the infield at short and at second. He's had 34 at bats. Switch hitter hitting .375, 3 for 8 as a right-handed batter. There's strike 1. And Marwin is 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter. It's almost as if he's a veteran on this club, though, instead of a rookie Rule 5 draft choice, the way he's being used. And that illustrates the confidence Brad Mills has in Marwin Gonzalez and his abilities. Justin Maxwell on deck with Jordan Schaefer due up next. 1-1, so both managers are getting some of their players out of the game at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even in a game like this, you have to keep managing. You know, not so much the strategy part of it, but now it's about using your resources, getting guys some at bats. Maybe a bullpen guy or 2 needs an inning. It's not high stress managing, but it's still got to pay attention, take care of business.
3-1 now.
Little, is it Steve Wilson? Pitched for the Dodgers and the Cubs, left-handed reliever.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, that's right.
He had that good slider.
Mm-hmm. 3-2 now. to Marwin Gonzalez. Astros pinch hitters have 9 hits and 29 at bats. Good pinch hit average, including a homer and 4 runs batted in. Gwynn is over in right center. Ball goes to left center. Gwynn gets a jump on it, but that's looping in for a hit. Pinch hit for Marwin Gonzalez. Well, that's pretty good work. He comes off the bench cold, works the count full, and bangs out a line drive single. First major league pinch hit. Now Justin Maxwell, pinch hit.
Yeah, he went way up to get that fastball too. His armpit high.
Maxwell with a .250 average, 4 for 16. He has a homer, 2 runs batted in. As a pinch hitter, he is 2 for 5 with a homer and 2 runs batted in. Whoop. Pops out of the mid, ball 1. Wandy Rodriguez with 7 very fine innings allowed the Dodgers just 3 hits, no runs. He walked 3 and fanned 6.
Here's a trivia question you can impress your friends with if you know the answer to this. The Philadelphia Phillies in 1957 became the last National League team to integrate. The name of the player. Do you know the name of that player?
Valmy Thomas.
John Kennedy.
Ooh.
He pinch ran for Solly Hemus.
Didn't know that. You were just full of good information today.
Well, just in case you're ever on Jeopardy, and that's like the final Jeopardy question.
Yeah, you've got to be ready. Do you think those people who are going on Jeopardy, just their minds will not work the night before they're on the show? They just, brain keeps running over different questions.
Yeah, it's cram. Yeah,
that'd be hard to sleep. You can't cover everything. Swing and a miss.
Kind of like Ralph Cramden when he was on the $64,000 question. He couldn't come up with Swanee. He couldn't come up with a composer. How about Ed Norton?
That's great stuff. 2-2. Line drive left center. That one's in almost exactly the same spot for a J-Max pinch hit. Back-to-back pinch singles almost exactly to that same patch of ground there in left center field. Wonder if there would be any way we could show exactly where those 2 balls landed. It was close.
Astros have done quite well in the pinch hit department so far this year, way above average.
That's 11 for 31, JD.
Yeah, that's better in the pinch than they are in the non-pinch. That's unlikely to hold up.
Yes. Jed Lowry is 1 for 3 with a walk. Gets a chance to bat right-handed this time. And look at ball 1. Lowry for his career is much better as a right-handed batter this season, 1 for 10. San Diego got 2 in the home first to lead the Phillies 2-0. It's Joe Blanton. 2-0. Look, we're going to find out where these balls landed, JD. Let's see how close they landed. There's Marwin Gonzalez's ball right there.
Put some coordinates on it.
All right, and Justin Maxwell's
right in the
ball.
same divot.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's going to create a tough lie for that approach shot.
Repair all divots. That is amazing. Rick Honeycutt out for a visit.
See, Albert's the only left-hander they have in the pen, so they don't want to waste him in a blowout game like this and not have him available tomorrow. So they're getting some action in the pen behind him.
Mike McDougal.
And he's thrown 20-some-odd pitches here. So.
All right, there's Marwin Gonzalez's hit. Look at that, Pat, and look how close that was by Justin Maxwell. Is that within maybe 6 inches? We're not sure. But we have to do something. It's the 7th inning of a 10-0 game. And it's 3 balls, no strikes.
It's in the length of a Shaquille O'Neal shoe, I'm going to say.
Lowry takes a strike, 3-1 to Jed. J.D. Martinez is on deck. The Astros have 10 runs on 8 hits, no errors, 5 men left. The Dodgers 0-3-3, 5 men left. Popped up. D. Gordon behind second. Mark Ellis is there calling. Ellis comes back in for the catch. No runs, 2 hits to almost exactly the same spot on the field, and 2 men left. After 7, it's 10-0 Astros.
Astros, no matter where you are on FS Houston's coverage, you can do it with MLB.com @bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and or Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @bat to 31826, or you can visit Astros.com for all the details. A lot of changes, guys, and I know you'll be busy telling us all about them.
Well, that's all right. We're having fun. Justin Maxwell is in center field. That's one of the changes. After delivering the pinch single, there's Marwin Gonzalez taking over. He's at shortstop for Jed Lowry. Schaefer came out of center field. And Matt Downs takes over at first base for Carlos Lee. Carlos had the 2-run homer to give the Astros the lead in the first inning. Wandy Rodriguez threw 107 pitches, 63 for strikes. Now it's Fernando Rodriguez coming in. Fernando 0-2 with a 4.26 ERA.
Wandy did his job today. 7 scoreless, gives the bullpen a break, and now an inning of work for Fernando.
James Loney is the pinch hitter. He's due up first. Batting for Scott Albert. And there's strike 1. Loney has been in the lineup the first 2 games of this series. He's hitting 200 with 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. And he ripped a home run last night to right field. A pretty impressive swing on a pitch that was down by Kyle Weiland. A good pitch, but Loney took it out, and he was 1 for 4 Friday night, a double in his return home. Played for Elkins High School, born right here in Houston. He smacks this one off the bench into right field. Well, Loney comes back and gets hits in all 3 games this weekend. It's only hit number 4 for the Dodgers. And D. Gordon is next. Gordon is 0 for 3. Albert in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, no runs. He had no walks. It struck out 2. There's strike 1. Now this bullpen situation has gone pretty well for Brad Mills so far this season. Nobody's really that overtaxed. Fernando's pitching for the first time since Wednesday at Washington.
Good life on that heater today, throwing a couple 4-seamers right by D. Gordon. Yeah, it's one of those good things, bad things. Nobody's been taxed because they haven't had a lot of late leads to preserve, so you haven't used You haven't had to go with any regularity to your 8th and 9th inning lead protectors.
Yeah.
And that 8th inning situation seems a little fluid right now. Boy, he just blew him away.
He did. Gordon strikes out for out number 1. Ellis will be next.
And even though the Astros have lost a lot of games, their starting pitching's been pretty good. So they haven't had a lot of situations where they've been blown out early and had to go to the bullpen that way either.
They have 10 quality starts. 3 teams have 1 more in the National League. 11 to tie for the lead. Ellis has 2 hits and a walk at a perfect day so far. There's strike 1 to him.
This is the Astros' 16th game. Brett Myers has only pitched 3 times.
Yeah, in today's game, that's probably not a good sign. Unless you're winning by blowout scores. 1-1.
Yeah. Right. 2 ways you don't have save opportunities, right? You're blowing people out or you're not winning.
Fernando Rodriguez took the loss in Washington Wednesday night. He was in a 1-1 game in the 7th inning. He left a couple of men on base and they later scored. Two balls and a strike.
Padres have the jump on the Phillies 2-0. Top of the second. How about Roy Halladay walked 4 guys?
Yeah.
Yesterday. He never does that.
That's very strange for him.
Must have been a tight zone.
That's up for a ball. Let's see. The Phillies right now are 7-8. Seem to be a little vulnerable at this stage without Ryan Howard and Chase Utley. And also with a new closer, Papelbon. Fly ball to left. J.D. Martinez comes in. Not that Papelbon is suspect in any way, but boy, they spent a lot of money to get him. So I don't know how much payroll flexibility they would have to go out and get somebody later this year, J.D. They have a very high payroll.
And now Cliff Lee just placed on the disabled list, and Ruben Amaro Jr., the general manager, saying all the right things. It's just a little tweak. You know, he could probably pitch, but we want to be cautious with him. And that may be the case, but those obliques sometimes have a tendency to linger.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder if they'll be knocking on Roy Oswald's door at any point.
Oh. Tony Gwynn Jr., the batter, yeah. He smacks one toward the gap in left center field, and with the runner going, he will be able to go to third and stop there. The throw comes into the shortstop Gonzalez. It's a double for Gwynn. And Loney, who's moving on the pitch, stopped at third by Tim Wallach because of this 10-0 score. So now the Dodgers have men at second and third, 2 outs. Maxwell got it into Gonzalez. Now it'll be Rivera. Rivera's 0 for 2 with a walk. It's Baltimore nothing. The Angels nothing. They're in the bottom of the 4th at Anaheim. Angels now 6-9. And hoping that Albert Pujols can come around. Now there's a conference. Atlanta got a run in the 1st at Arizona.
That Halladay 4-walk ball game last night I alluded to. That was broke a streak of 117 starts by him without walking that many. The 3rd longest streak of that nature. Carl Pavano actually has 154 starts without walking 4 in a game.
Wouldn't have thought that. Strike 1 to Rivera. Well, that Miami-Washington game was postponed today in Washington, so bad weather claiming 3 games on the schedule. The Yankees postponed in Boston, the Mets postponed at home against the Giants, and Miami-Washington postponed at Washington. 0-2. Astros lucky they got out of Washington before that bad weather hit, because that's their only scheduled trip into that city this year. That makes it really difficult trying to make up a game and go back on an off day or something like that.
The rainout's a win for Boston these days. I'll be glad to get washed out of that one.
Chris Johnson to his left. Good play. Straightens up and throws him out. To end a scoreless 8th inning with 2 hits and 2 men left in the middle of the 8th. It's 10-0 Astros. By Miller Lite, and here's a grand slam, first major league slam by Jordan Schaefer off the glove of Andre Ethier in the 2nd inning to make it 6-0 Houston. Schaefer's 2nd home run of the season.
That was a neat shot because there was a lady in the front row off to the right there that was coaxing that ball as she was waving it in. Like, come on, come on.
It just got there. Without her, it might not have made it.
Houston Marlins are in the house. A lot of little leaguers here at the ballpark enjoying a great day.
Yeah, it has been. It's a glorious sunsplash day. A lot of runs. Mike McDougall comes in, and he is pitcher number 4 for Don Mattingly. A right-hander with no decisions, 2 holds, and an ERA of 4.91 in 5 games.
You saw Mike a little bit last night. Too like Wright has been around for a good long while. Not as long as Wright has, but he's got some notches on his belt. Good day to catch some rays. Buy a new hat.
MC knows. They are right in the sun and enjoying it because it's not hot today.
Happy Earth Day, everybody. There's an Earth Day hat.
J.D. Martinez is 0 for 4 with an RBI. They gave out those green caps at the game last night. They're strike 1. So J.D. with 14 runs batted in, and this is game number 16. Playing very well this season. Takes a strike. It's 0-2. Matt Downs is on deck. McDougall was a first-round pick of Kansas City in '99. Pitched 69 times for the Dodgers last year. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeff Neiman, the former Rice Owl, makes it a big weekend for former Rice Owls. He wins for Tampa Bay, beating Minnesota 6-2. Beating Francisco Liriano. Neiman went 5 1/3, and then the bullpen took it from there.
It's a nice win, Jeff, but you are not the Owl of the weekend. I'm sorry.
No. That was fun watching those Philip Umber interviews last night on TV after his perfect game. Smash on the ground. Uribe throws out Martinez, 1 out. And how about that final pitch of the game, by the way? Brendan Ryan was in the umpire's face. after being called for swinging at that pitch. Now Matt Downs.
Good that he was arguing because he didn't run to first base.
No, he didn't run.
Boy, what an awful way that would be to lose a perfect game.
Cool. Downs is hitting 200, 3 for 15, 1 RBI, 0 for 7 pinch hitting. Not pinch hitting now because he was already in the game, but he smacks a single up the middle. Well, Matt, who got the call last night in right field, had a double in 3 trips. Comes off the bench this time to get his hit. He had to wait for his playing time this year. Chris Johnson was so hot at third base, and he completely understood why Brad Mills was holding off. And so he didn't start there for a while, but now he's starting to get it going. And here's Bogusevic following. Bogey 0 for 3 with a walk. CJ on deck. He smacks that one to left field. That bangs off the Corona light sign. Here's Downs into third. The throw goes into the shortstop, and it's a double for Bogey. First double for him. Good opposite field power.
Yeah, he is really strong. He can go deep any part of this ballpark.
Two more hits for the Astros here in the 8th inning. And now it's Chris Johnson. He has one of those hits, and he was hit by a pitch. He's scored 2 runs. That's a total of 10 hits now for the Astros. They've left 7. Jason Castro's on deck.
Well, it speaks to the impact of the walks and the errors early in the game. The Astros had 9 runs on 4 hits. Now they're up to 10 hits, but they've only added 1 more run.
Ripped into left field. CJ will pick up an RBI to make it 11-0 on his single to left. 5th run batted in for Chris Johnson. Down scoring. Bogey taking third.
That just drifted right into CJ's sweet spot. 2-seamer from McDougal.
He's had a nice bounce back game today after a tough night last night. Castro has had 2 hits, an RBI. He has scored 2 runs, drawn a walk. Bounces 1 foul. There's strike 1. So the 11 runs scored at Washington in the finale there Thursday night, tied by this output.
Clearly, you don't want to face this club on getaway day.
No. The Astros had 11 runs on 17 hits Thursday night in their 11-4 win. Backhand stab there by Trainer. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, right now they've scored 70 runs compared to 61 for their opponents. So the Pythagorean theorem of baseball indicates they should be, what, a couple of games over 500, right?
Yeah.
But if they win this game, they'll be 6-10.
At least 500.
Yeah. 2 balls, 1 strike to Castro. Kyle Loesch goes to 3-0 with a St. Louis 5-1 win at Pittsburgh, beating Eric Bedard. He's 0-4. Loesch went 7 innings, giving up 1 run. His ERA is 0.99 now. Two balls and 2 strikes to Castro, the Astro, from Castro Valley, California. Jose Altuve's on deck. Those little guys enjoying a nice day out, watching all these runs. A lot of folks were here early today, getting autographs. Astros are back home on Monday, April 30th against the Mets. Foul back. Mets have been quite a surprise team. They're 8-6. That's not great, but considering what many people had expected for them, that's considerably better.
David Wright's tearing it up.
He really is.
Easy now, kids.
Fly ball to left field. Hairston measuring it over to his right. For out number 2, and he gets it back in. Now Altuve.
Well, he is going to get another at bat. We mentioned last time up, it was his last chance to get a knock.
Funny how that turned for him.
Yeah.
He's 0 for 3 with a walk, scored a run. He's made some nice plays, as you pointed out. Go back to that first inning. Kemp at the plate, just a world beater. Lately, 7 homers in the last 8 games. He hit a foul pop outside the right field line. Altuve with a sparkling sliding catch with a runner on base for out number 2. Reaches for that one, tries to beat it out as Uribe rushes the throw, and not in time, and a run scores to make it 12-0. Infield hit, RBI single, Altuve.
A big smile on his face. Take him any way you can get him.
RBI number 6 for Jose.
Second hit of the weekend. He rolls over on this one, gives him a nice break out of the box. Uribe charges hard, but not really close at first base.
Marwin Gonzalez bats next. Marwin came off the bench and lined a single to left center as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. That's ball 1. That was batting right-handed against Scott Albert. Now he turns around to the other side with Justin Maxwell on deck. Rockies just snapped a 1-1 tie with 2 in the 8th at Milwaukee to lead 3-1. And they have Rex Brothers in the game. Looks like Greg Lucas is joined by some cheering fans down there behind him.
You can hear him, huh?
Yeah, we can hear him.
It's driving our producer Wade nuts in the truck. He's turned the mic down. So
very exuberant group. They know you have a microphone, and they're using it. 2 balls and a strike. Well, they've got that good spirit on a Sunday.
Fine leadership qualities right there.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last time the Astros, let's see, scored 12 runs was at Chicago last May 30th. So that was their season high last year, and they've tied that already. Strike 3 called. In the 8th inning, they get to 12 runs by scoring 2 runs on 4 hits and stranding 2 to lead it 12-0, moving to the 9th.
Brought to you by Hyundai. New Hyundai owners are talking about their cars in the booth. You heard them. They're right behind me, and they are pumped.
Yeah, they are. Well, they've seen 12 runs scored by the Astros, starting with a 2-run Carlos Lee homer, and then the grand slam in the second by Jordan Schaefer. And Wandy Rodriguez with shutout ball through 7, gave way to Fernando Rodriguez. Now it's Brandon Lyon coming in for the 9th inning for Houston.
Well, Brandon, 3.60 ERA, 0-1 through 6 ball games. Chocolate covered almonds are really good.
Oh, they were good yesterday. They're still good today. Adam Kennedy, first time up. There's ball 1. Kennedy at 0.77 has 1 RBI. He's had 13 at bats with 1 hit.
Yeah, you see a game where one club scores 12, bunch of hits, bunch of walks.
Short play by Altuve. Yeah, he smothered it.
You might think, well, geez, it's just a tough day for pitchers. Umpire must have a tight zone or something. But when the other team's pitching a shutout,
hard to make that point.
Yeah.
That's 1 out and a combined shutout in play for Brandon Lyon. And it's Hairston batting. Hairston has been on twice with a walk and a single. The Astros trying for their first shutout win of the season. That's off the end of the bat out into left center field. It dunks in for a hit. A single for Hairston, and he's been on base 3 times. Uribe follows. White Sox got 2 in the 3rd at Seattle to lead 2-0 behind John Danks. Last time the Astros had a shutout win, and they had 6 last year, was August 31st against the Pirates here. That's strike 1 to Uribe. So it had been a successful Rodriguez day, with Fernando following Wandy. And now Lyon working for the first time since Friday. Worked 2/3 of an inning, throwing 9 pitches in a scoreless outing. Pitched 2 scoreless innings last Monday at Washington, so he hasn't had a lot of appearances in the last week. Backhanded, Marwin Gonzalez throws to second. Altuve on to first. What a way to end it. Spectacular double play by Gonzalez and Altuve to end the Astros' first shutout win of the season. Boy, these fans saw a lot of things they had to like today in a 12-0 win, JD.
Just a really lopsided game every which way. The Astros playing a real clean game. And defensively, to go along with all the good hitting and the good pitching, a sparkling way to end it here. The 6-4-3 double play. And while the Dodgers were walking people and kicking the ball around, the Astros played an outstanding ball game.
The victory line forms, and it's 12-0 as the Astros win it today.